Hello, and welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, the place where we dive deep into the coolest corners of science. Today, we're journeying millions of years into the past to uncover the world of paleoentomology. That's a fancy word, but it simply means the study of fossil insects. And trust me, these ancient creepy crawlies offer an incredible window into Earth's deep history, revealing how insects and our planet's ecosystems grew up together. This isn't just about describing old bugs anymore. Scientists are now piecing together ancient environments, how creatures interacted, the evolutionary paths they took, and how they're all related. Let's talk about deep time. Insects have been around for an astonishingly long time. The oldest insect fossil we know of, a tiny creature called Rhyniognatha hirsti, dates back about 400 million years to the Devonian period. To put that in perspective, insects were already diversifying and buzzing around well before the first dinosaurs even thought about stomping onto the scene. By around 395 million years ago, in the Middle Devonian, primitive wingless insects, kind of like today's silverfish and springtails, were already present. Some fossil evidence even hints that their evolutionary story might stretch even further back into the Silurian period. Now, the evolution of insects is marked by some game-changing developments. First up, wings. Can you imagine a world where nothing flew? Then, insects came along. The development of flight, which happened by the Carboniferous period, was a massive leap. It allowed them to find new homes, spread out far and wide, and escape things that wanted to eat them on the ground. They were the first organisms to conquer the air, giving them a huge advantage. Some scientists even think that the tasty, nutritious spores from early land plants might have been the carrot on a stick that encouraged insects to take to the skies. Another pivotal moment was the evolution of complete metamorphosis. You know, the whole egg, larva, pupa, adult thing, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. This strategy, called holometamorphosis, is genius because it means the young uns and the adults aren't competing for the same food or living space. The youngsters often munch on different things and live in different spots than their parents. And get this, of the 29 insect orders, the 9 that go through complete metamorphosis make up a whopping 86% of all insect species alive today. That really shows you what an evolutionary win this life cycle is. Back in the Paleozoic era, insects were often giants. We're talking dragonflies with wingspans like eagles. Several factors contributed to this gigantism. The atmosphere had higher oxygen levels, temperatures were warmer, which boosted their metabolism, and importantly, there were no birds or other aerial predators around to keep them in check. Insects and plants have also had a long, intertwined history. Scientists have found fossil leaves with ancient insect bite marks, showing that complex ways of eating plants were already established by the Middle Jurassic period. This was long before flowering plants or angiosperms even appeared. What's fascinating is that while the specific insect species have changed, the types of feeding damage seen on Jurassic conifers are incredibly similar to those on Cretaceous flowering plants, and even on plants today. It's like insects just adapted their munching styles as new plants evolved. For example, studies on 52-million-year-old fossil eucalyptus leaves from South America show insect damage almost identical to that on modern gum trees in Australia. This suggests that insect families have been tracking their favorite food sources across huge distances and vast stretches of time. Paleoentomology is a super active field, with new fossils and cool tech pushing it forward. Discoveries of exceptionally preserved fossils are always exciting. For instance, recent finds in New Zealand, in 15-million-year-old crater lake sediments from the Miocene, revealed tiny whitefly puparia still attached to fossil leaves, right where they lived. Finds like this are super rare and give us vital clues about past insect communities. Over in Germany's Messel pit, a 47-million-year-old, almost perfectly preserved true cicada fossil, named Eoplatyplura messelensis, was recently found. This is the earliest known example of its subfamily and helps us understand how these noisy insects evolved and spread. And in New York, a 450-million-year-old arthropod, Lamanchus edgecumbiae, was discovered preserved in pyrite, or fool's gold, showing off incredible details of its body. Modern paleoentomology also uses some seriously high-tech tools. Things like synchrotron microtomography, which is like a superpowered CT scanner, confocal microscopy, and pyrolysis gas chromatography. Mass spectrometry allow researchers to study fossil insects in amazing detail, even if they're stuck inside cloudy amber or solid rock. These technologies help reconstruct what these ancient critters looked like, and sometimes even how they lived. And it's not just about looking at old bugs. Fossil insects are incredibly important for calibrating what we call molecular clocks. These clocks are used to figure out the evolutionary relationships, or phylogenies, of modern insect groups. By providing definite dates for when certain insect lineages appeared, fossils help us fine-tune our understanding of how and when different insect groups branched off from each other. So, why is studying ancient insects so important? Well, for a few big reasons. Firstly, it helps us understand how ecosystems have evolved. Insects have always been key players in land and freshwater environments. Their fossils give us direct evidence of past biodiversity, how species interacted, like through eating plants or pollinating them, and how ecosystems responded to big environmental changes and crises throughout Earth's history. Secondly, the types of insects found in a fossil deposit can tell us a lot about the climate and vegetation of that ancient environment. Thirdly, fossil insects help us trace evolutionary lineages, bridging the gaps between extinct and living forms, and showing us the paths that led to the incredible diversity of insects we see today. And finally, understanding how insect populations and their ecosystems reacted to past environmental shifts can give us valuable insights into how modern insect biodiversity might be affected by current and future challenges like climate change and habitat loss. Paleoentomology continues to unearth the rich and complex history of insects, showcasing their resilience, adaptability, and their massive influence on the evolution of life on Earth. As new fossil sites are explored and our analytical tools get even better, our understanding of these ancient creatures and their world-shaping roles will only continue to grow. That's all the time we have for today on Fun Facts Online. Thanks for tuning in to learn about the fascinating world of paleoentomology. Join us next time for more amazing insights from the world of science. Bye for now.